The intricate tapestry of life is often perceived through the dichotomy of randomness and order. At first glance, randomness may seem to offer a certain allure with its unpredictability and spontaneity, encapsulated by these serendipitous occurrences that punctuate our daily existence. However, a closer examination reveals that randomness, while capable of generating ephemeral moments of novelty, is fundamentally incapable of giving rise to sustainable order. This assertion is supported by a plethora of arguments spanning diverse fields, including philosophy, science, sociology, and economics. To comprehend the inherent limitations of randomness in fostering enduring coherence, it is essential to first delineate what is meant by order and sustainability. Order can be broadly defined as a state or condition in which elements are arranged in a systematic or logical manner, functioning harmoniously towards the common goal or purpose. Sustainability, on the other hand, refers to the capacity of an entity, be it an ecosystem, a social structure, or a system of governance, to maintain its functionality in the face of external pressures over time. Therefore, for an order to be deemed sustainable, it must demonstrate resilience, adaptability, and consistency in its principle and operations. Randomness inherently embodies chaos and unpredictability. It is an absence of discernible patterns or order, where occurrences arise from sheer chance rather than from a coherent structure or systematic process. The phenomenon of randomness is encapsulated in the laws of probability, which suggests that events can occur without any correlation to one another. For instance, the throw of a dice is entirely random. The outcome is independent of previous throws, and no amount of analysis can predict future results based on past events. In this regard, while randomness can lead to a variety of outcomes, it lacks the traditional elements required to construct an order that can sustain itself over time. Philosophically, the debate between chaos and order has engaged thinkers for millennia. Many philosophers have identified the importance of purpose in the natural order of things. Everything in the natural order has intrinsic aim or function, suggesting that order must arise from intentionality rather than random occurrences. In contrast, randomness, devoid of intention, fails to provide the principled foundation on which a system order can be established. Without a guiding purpose, the outcomes of random process are unable to coalesce into a coherent structure that can be maintained or nurtured over time. In the realm of science, particularly in the study of complex systems, the impact of randomness becomes even more apparent. Researchers have demonstrated that while random processes can lead to emergent phenomena, where simple rules give rise to moderately complex structures, the sustainability of such structures is contingent on underlying mechanisms that impose order and regulation. For instance, in ecosystems, random events such as natural disasters may incite change and diversity, but the subsequent recovery and persistence of the ecosystem are driven by established ecological principles such as resilience, interdependence, and ecological succession. This underscores the notion that while randomness may act as a catalyst for change, but the existing order that ultimately determines sustainability of the system. From a sociology perspective, the implications of randomness in social structures emanate similar conclusions. Social order, shaped by norms, institutions, and shared values, cannot thrive in an environment characterized solely by randomness. There is need for a structured framework within which individuals can coexist and collaborate. In the absence of such frameworks, society is likely to devolve into chaos, where the lack of established norms would inhibit sustained cooperation and social cohesion. Historical examples illustrate that societies governed by arbitrary or capricious rules rather than consistent and just principles tend to degenerate instability, generate insanity and conflict and eventual disintegration. The intricate systems and complex order inherent in biological beings cannot be adequately attributed to mere randomness. The precise arrangement of DNA, the regulation of gene expression, and the sophisticated interactions between myriad cellular processes reflect a high degree of organization that is indicative of an underlying design. The specificity of biochemical pathways, the remarkable efficiency of organ systems reveal a level of complexity that exceeds what could emerge from stochastic events alone. Instead, these phenomena suggest that a structured framework plays pivotal role in the development and maintenance of life. In light of these arguments, it becomes increasingly evident and that randomness is inherently incapable of nurturing system and order. It is an indiscriminate force that, while able to provoke novelty and unpredictability, lacks the essential qualities of purpose, structure, and consistency that underpin a sustainable system. Consequently, any semblance of order derived from random processes is inevitably transient, susceptible to indigestion under external pressures or change in the environment. Randomness and sustainable error exist not as complementary forces but rather as opposing paradigms. The former, rooted in chaos and unpredictability, cannot coalesce into the latter, which requires a foundation of intentionality, structure, and principles. As we navigate the complexities of life, it becomes essential to recognize the limitations of randomness in fostering enduring order. It is through deliberate design, established frameworks, and continuous adaptation that we can cultivate a sustainable future, one that transcends the fleeting nature of randomness in favor of lasting principles and cohesive structures. Thus, while randomness may hold a place in our experiences, it is order and steadfast that and intentional that remains indispensable for the sustenance of life, society, and our shared environment. The probability of sustainable order originating from randomness is nil. Is it intellectually honest to promote evolutionary theory based on randomness as scientific fact?